Club of DAV Public School Hazaribag, in collaboration with the Debate Club, is here to conduct the book review of the famous book Fish, written by Stephen C. Lundin, Harry Paul, and John Christensen. Today, to inaugurate the program, I feel highly privileged to have with us Honorable Mrs. Rajendra Narula, OSD, DAV CAE, New Delhi, as our chief guest. She'll join us today far from USA, proving the triumph of technology. How the world is...
Principal, that is the group, all the principal of Hops of Learning, namaste to you, and you have joined. What is the story? All the principals, once again, teachers, and best of luck, my dear students. Why just you have selected this topic? Why this book? In April last week, that was the Stephen R. Covey, that is the book, Stephen Covey, that is the 7 Habits of Effective People. Now this time, Fish by Stephen C. Lundin, Harry Paul, and John Christensen. What is the takeaway? That is the main character, that is the Mary Jane. What is the area? That is the toxic energy dump, 3rd floor staff, and first guarantee financial. Fishmonger, who is the character, and that is the most protagonist, that is the 2-person Mary Jane and Lonnie, because the takeaway from the 4 practices of Fish philosophy. Fantastic. Choose your attitude, play, make their day, and be present. Choose your attitude. What is choose? First, by accepting that you choose your attitude means you demonstrate level of personal accountability and proactivity, which fill your job with energy and passion. Just like a Count the Chicken Before the Haze at Nidam Chaudhary, one book you must go through. And that is the story of passion, attitude and passion. So choose your attitude. What is your attitude? Choosing your attitude and acting like a Victorian and mutually exclusive, proactive. And the attitude you choose is to bring your best self to work and love for what you do. Whatever the work, whatever the company, whatever the school, whatever the organization, whatever the university, it depends on your attitudes. If you are coming with a positive attitude, proactive approach, you are always doing the wonderful job. Our late Narayan Das Grover used to visit the school, and at that time, Lakhe was the school. That is the rented building. The building was not in condition, a very pitiable position. But Grover Sahab energized number of times. Some of the teachers and some of the parents also, कि सर ये change कीजिए, इसको बदलिए. Grover Sahab कहें वो भी change होगा, लेकिन teachers के attitude से school बन जाएगा. ये struggle का period है, and struggle के बाद एक खूबसूरत building बनेगी. लेकिन Grover Sahab का वो सपना, वो हमेशा पैशन डालते थे, एनर्जी, गजब का एनर्जी. डॉक्टर बी कुलवंत, ग्रोवर साहब को मैं मानता हूं को नए लोगों को एनर्जी के साथ एनर्जाइज करते थे. सो आई मस्ट गिव क्रेडिट टू देम. सो दे आर वेरी डायनेमिक इन स्पेस. नाउ बी देयर, दैट इज द अप्रोच. द सेकंड, बी देयर ऑफ योर कस्टमर, व्हाटएवर द कस्टमर. पेरेंट्स, बी देयर फॉर योर कोवर्कर, दैट इज द कलीग्स. बी देयर फॉर योर फैमिली, बी देयर फॉर यू. Make their day, that is it good for business. So these are the play, because nowadays we are talking about the gamification in the classroom. STEM and STEM become STEAM. Rajendra Narula, the last time experiential learning, used the term STEM. That is the science, technology, engineering and mathematics now become the STEAM, because art installation, creativity with innovation. So these are the passion. And in Pike, his place, that was the beautiful story. Started with the Mary Jane and how she joined the 3rd floor, promoted in 3rd floor, and how take away. So my first, to be aware the attitude, these are the 4 attitude to keep ourselves proactive instead of being reactive. Choose your attitude. To work on having fun with the job. If you are interested and enjoying your work, being a principal, being a teacher, being a university professor, being a registrar, so definitely we are going to do wonderful. Because the students want my teacher should be cheerful while interact with them. And whenever just you are going to take the classes interacting, and that is the passion. So in this way, choose your attitude. If you enter the organizations, you always remember this can be takeaway from this book. The second takeaway to work of having fun, like play. So playway method, because the children are very fond of, if you are going to start and using this terminology, then to try to make the day better and people are working with you. So make their day. That is the third takeaway. And fourth, how to be present while we are work at both our body and mind and soul. Be there always. So the philosophy empowers, especially each and every employee, to be more effective and in their job to improve customer service and build trust and teamwork, strengthen leadership and increase employee satisfaction. This is the job. And the takeaway of the fish philosophy, how she got energized from the fish market. And that is the takeaway of this core principle. What does the fish philosophy stand for? I must say, to improve teamwork, customer service, employee engagement, beautifully, playway method, retention, recognition, and leadership. I must say about that, after going through my students' performance, participation, everybody will learn something about that. And I'm telling you, the students are from 8 class, 9 class, 10, 11, 12 class. But they are daring to go through the management, review the management book. I'm very fond of you, my dear students. I'm proud of you. God bless you. Once again, I express my sincere thanks to all the dignitary and especially Rajinder Nirula Madam, ex-OST DAV-CMC. She has joined, how she is passionate, proactive, joined from Washington, D.C. Day for study, we discussed about that. She will tell something. Now, Vijay Kumar Singh ji, our registrar, Sarla Birla University, Dr. Saroj Ranjan sir, the professor, Binova University, Management, Department of Management, and most dynamic principal of our, Jharkhand, Mrs. Kiran Yadav, always ready, always proactive. Whenever just invite, okay, sir, I will do. I will join. So I express my sincere thanks. All the parents, all the principal of Hubs of Learning, all the principals of Jharkhand, June, and Jharkhand, other area.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's good morning from Washington, D.C. and good evening to everyone. And I'm in August gathering. I welcome everyone of our great mentors who are right now here, Professor Vijay Ranjan Singh ji, and then Dr. Vijay Kumar Singh ji, and Dr. Saroj Ranjan, and Madam Kiran Yadav, and our very special principal, sir, Dr. Ashok. Well, it's wonderful to be here with you all and talk about the fish philosophy. Sir has already told you everything about what winners can do. Winners do not do different things. They do things differently. That's what we are going to talk about today, about a winner who is Mary. Mary is in a workplace and where he is now in touch with the very, very sulking lot of people on her third floor, and she's given the charge of leading them. And then that's there she's finding that the attitude is not right. And she happens to be one day to go to the nearby Minnesota, she's in Minnesota, and the Seattle fish market, and notices the kind of passion and enthusiasm which is going on over there. Yes. And how it catches up with her, and then she brings that enthusiasm into her workplace. So children, what we are discussing right now and what sir is telling us is that attitudes are infectious. If we have the right passion, we have the positive attitude, we bring in lots and lots of enthusiasm, no matter what. If there are sulking people in the room, if there are people who are with low energy, they will all get energized. They will all become passionate. So it all depends on what kind of leader you are. So just now, you are in the presence of great leaders, Mr. Ashok Kumar and everyone who is right now at the dais are great leaders. So the fish philosophy is now in vogue in almost every corporate sector. So it says that you bring in your passion to your workplace and then carry everyone together, collaborate and collate with the others, and then bring their energy also to the higher level. Because I just now said, attitudes are infectious. So children, it's best that wherever you go, don't leave that spark of childhood in you. People who are in the old days, they are always told that if you have the child alive in you, the passion alive in you, you will never become old. You will never look old. So that's the philosophy of fish. Remain in the present. Love your work. Bring lots and lots of passion, positivity, and enthusiasm to your workplace and to your homes. At times, the older people, right now, we are in the pandemic, when many of us can go low down on our feelings. But one of you, if act like Mary, that will cause the infectious attitude to pick up. And that's what I think today you are going to discuss about. And here I am, Ananya. I think I have enough words for everyone, and you can carry forward now onwards. Thank you so much.
That as we have got a very nice saying from you, that is attitudes are infectious. Yes, definitely attitudes are infectious. And today the participants here, those who are here, I would like to mention that our debate club and our reading club have already given many good debaters like Pallavi Mitra, Niharika Chavi, Anvita Priyam, and writers, great writers whose work has been published like Kanish Banka, Mihir Vats, Kajol Aikon. And I believe that these students today will definitely follow their path, will get infected through their success, and these students also will bear the laurels. So with that, I come to the process of judgment. Children, this is for you. Please see that you will be judged on the context of content, presentation, relevance of ideas, coherence. These are the criteria on which you will be judged. You will get a time of total 6 minutes to speak. There will be bell after 5 minutes, after which you will start to wind up and you try to finish your speech within 6 minutes. So with that, I think we can begin with the program, sir, with your permission.
Yes. Go ahead.
I extend my best wishes to all the participants. So we start with our first participant, that is Tanisha Sinha of 12 age. Tanisha?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you're both audible as visible.
Okay, shall I start?
Yes, you may start.
Good evening to everyone present over here. I am one of the reader of a very ideal and wonderful book, Fish, written by Stephen C. Lundin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the book is not having a story, but a moral as well as the idea that we all need in our lives somewhere, I guess. So the very first question is that, what is the takeaway from this book? As the book title contains 4 alphabets, fish, F-I-S-H. Similarly, it has 4 basic components or sections that I take it in my life. The very first and the most important one is attitude. According to me, attitude is all a human being needs. Like we do a lot of work in our daily life, in which only some of them give us pleasure. But a lot of work that we actually do are not according to our own choice. Perhaps we do because of our responsibilities. Yes, this is a fact that we can't run away from our responsibility, but it doesn't mean we just live a life that is not exactly to our own choice. So, in simple, we can choose the attitude we bring to our work. Choosing to love your work is one of the important parts in the life. And let's come to the second one. The second one, the important takeaway from the book is play. Yes, it's play. that we all used to do in our childhood. And if you notice one thing, a child is always happy as compared to us. And you know why? Because they are always have fun in their work. Similarly, we can also do the same in our work field, but in a respectful manner. There are many benefits we can learn from this section, like happy people treat others well. One leads to creativity. Having a good time is healthy, and work become a reward and not just a way to reward. And what more you need in your life. The third section titled as Make Their Day. It is good in every aspect of the life, like serving other people well, give satisfaction to those who serve others well. It will focus our attention away from our own problem onto how we can make a positive difference to others. This is healthy and will unleash even more energy. Basically, this section had focus of providing people with good memories and in which they have participated in. And the fourth and the final section of the book focus on the being present. There are four characteristics of being present. First, show consideration to other people. Second, truly listen to others and do not allow yourself to be distracted. Third, be engaged in your work. And fourth, take time to smell the roses. Today, we are in a world of multitasking. Unfortunately, this doesn't give us the opportunity to be present with those who need us the most. For example, if somebody comes to you for some help, just sit and listen to him carefully for a while because we don't know. Your one attention and your presence can save someone's life. So just a good presence for someone. Now, if somebody asks me this question, what is the significance of this book in your life? I will surely say that this book is not only encouraged me personally, but professionally too. This book made me realize my full potential and to be energetic and to start believing in myself. Like in the story, Mary Jane took the risk and initially she was very scared. But if she couldn't take the risk that day, she never succeeded in the way to change the entire workplace. Now, I know if I want to achieve something in my life, I have to take the risk. Higher the risk, higher the outcome. But yes, sitting at one place and not doing anything because of the fear of the result of the risk is much more worse than taking the risk and fail. At least you can say, I tried for that. But for this, we first have to trust the process and believe in ourselves and to do everything with full energy and potential with a positive attitude. This is all I learned from this book. And now if I'm standing in front of you all, it is all because I start believing in myself after reading this book. And I think this is what I really need entirely. Now, the most important part, how we can implement the things we learn from this book in our daily life. As I already discussed about the full conceptual section of the book, I would like to explain how I am going to implement all this thing in my life. So starting from the very first, attitude. We do uncountable work in a single day, but we never think before doing it. We just have to think firstly about the attitude, passion, which attitude suits in our work and start enjoying it. If I have to choose my attitude, then definitely it will be confident and positivity. Like I choose today for this review speech. That's why I'm enjoying it and I'm doing it with full energy in front of you all. And now, play. This is my most favorite one. As play is all about having fun in your work. I learned a lot from this section of the book and I already implemented it in my life. Initially, my mom always told me to help in her work and I did, but it was very boring for me. To be honest, I just hate doing household work, but I have to. I know, but after understanding this section, I applied the concept and now I played some music or gossip with my mother and I enjoyed it a lot. It makes things interesting for me now. And now make their day. In this, I can say it is the most easy as well as the most hardest thing to learn and implement. To make something memorable for someone is the toughest job. But if we know the right way, then it is not only make other people happy, it makes ourselves distracted from our own problem as well. And now present. This is the most prestigious job to do nowadays. Being present for others sounds easy, but practically it is just opposite. For this, you have to be a good listener, although you will definitely fall in this job. You have to keep patience while operating with other people and make them feel they are the most important person for the time. And at last, I would say that how we can implement the thing for the successful running of an organization. As in this story, we came to know how Mary Jane used this step and totally changed the entire workforce, which earlier called toxicdom. If we smartly see this core concept, then we can apply it in any organization and make the management perfect as well as productive. And the biggest example of this is my own school, DAV HAZARIBAG. Because I see my principal, my teacher, as well as staff all work with the positive attitude and with full enthusiastic attitude and all will enjoy in their respective work. They always include students in various activities, which really encourages. And the most important, they are always present for each and every student out there. And this is how we make a successful organization. Thank you.
That was highly energetic, I must say, Tanisha. Next, we move on to Srishti Ranjan. But before moving to Srishti Ranjan, I would like to ask the students to stick to the 6 minutes timing. Srishti Ranjan, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have Srishti Ranjan of 8F. You're both audible as well as visible. You can start your presentation now.
Okay, ma'am. To be successful, the first thing to do is fall in love with the work. Starting with these words, good evening to everyone present over here. I'm Srishti Ranjan of class 8F. So starting with the book, Fish, A Remarkable Way to Boost Your Morale and Improve Result by Stephen C. Lundin, taught me a lot of things, especially during this pandemic time where we all have become so lazy. I would like to share my condition before I read this book. I was a very lazy procrastinator. But after I read this book, it changed my point of view towards my work. I started loving and enjoying my work. These 4 principles literally changed me. And these 4 principles are: first principle, you can choose your attitude. Now there is always a choice about the way you do your work, even though there may not be the choice in the work itself, which I found really helpful. And the greatest ability that God has given to humankind above the animals is ability to choose. Even as we go into the book, we will find how a very normal place like the market, the fishmongers were happy and constantly engaging with their customers, making them smile. That means we can choose the attitude we bring to our work. And second principle we want to talk about is to play. At that market, they were not only just playing with kids, but with adults too. People go there to get entertained. It simply means we can be serious about our work without taking ourselves too seriously. And the third principle, which is to make others' day. The beauty of life doesn't depend upon how happy you are, but it depends upon how happy others can be because of you. What can you do to make others' day good? What can you do to make others smile? What can you do to make others' day just a little bit better for them? Create great memories. And moving on to the last principle, which is a principle of 2 words called be there, and which I believe is the most important principle among all the 4. By choosing to be there and listening the people in front of you, it could be your customers, it could be your family members, but being present at each time and not huddling behind the phone. Being alert, paying attention is very important because listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, others over self. Coming to my takeaways from this book, I not only understood the importance of 4 principles of the fish philosophy, but I realized how much it is important to love our work. Even the author says, love what you do. If we ain't gonna enjoy the work we do, how we expect it to benefit us in a productive way, right? So we need to love and enjoy our work. This book definitely worth reading. I will suggest everybody to read this book, especially the managers, students, staff members, to everyone. You will find love and enjoyment towards your work. Life is too precious just to be passing through to retirement. It was a flight from my lazy procrastinating attitude to my loving and enjoying attitude towards my work. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to review this book.
Thank you very much, Srishti. That was short. And next, we move on to our next participant, that is Nikhil Kumar Shahu. Nikhil?
Yes, am I visible, ma'am? Audible?
Yes, Nikhil, you're both audible as well as visible.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. My name is Nikhil Kumar Shahu. And on this sweet evening, we are going to review a book, extraordinary revolutionary book, Fish, a remarkable way to boost morale and improve results by Stevenson Lundin, Harry Paul, and John Christensen. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick to your seat and let me start this book review. So, this unforgettable book review will cover around three major aspects that are takeaways, significance, and implementation. And on the ending, I'll be giving a marvelous lesson from this book. So, let's not jump into the topic directly. I have a 55 seconds of video of that fish market. Let me play. Ready, steady, go. Wait a second. So, starting with what's my takeaway from the book? This book has made me reconsider about the work environment in which we are working. It has taught me that to be present at the moment and taught me we are too concerned about what was and what will be. Right? They're just saying yesterday is a history and tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why we call present. Right? Moreover, I bring the idea of a world where vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired, feel safe and energetic at work, and return home fulfilled at the end of the day. This is not the world we are living today, and I believe it's our responsibility to change the work ethic of the globe. Moving towards what significance does this book have in my life? Before starting this, I have a question. I want to ask you a question. Do you love your work, or are you just working for money? Most probably, you belong to the second group. Because sadly, studies shows 85% of people hate their job. You know what day is today? It's Monday. You know, most heart attacks occur on Monday. You know what's timing is? It's 8 to 10 a.m. You know what's happened at 8 to 10 a.m. is a time when teachers go to school, workers go to work, employees go to office. Researcher predicted that this is because of the sudden urge of the cortisol, also known as stress hormone, also known as stress hormone. People feel pain, stress, and tired at the work. But don't worry, I'm here with the book Fish to resolve it. So when we commit ourselves for some higher purpose or some higher cause, passion is the result. When we work hard for something we don't believe in it, it's called stress. But when we work hard for something we do believe in, it's called passion. Passion is not the entry point; it's about the exit point. And people in life, we don't always have a choice about the work we have to do, but we always have a choice about the attitude with which we do the work. Anything can be engaging and entertaining if we decided to do so. Doing what we like is just a freedom. Doing what we like is just a freedom, but liking what you do is happiness. Moving towards the important one, how can we implement the things we learn from this book in our daily life? Like, dude, we don't have fishes to throw and to enjoy. So listen to me. Last Friday, I have to wash my clothes by my own, and washing clothes sucks. It is one of the most hated work in our daily life. But I know I have to do it either I like it or not. And coincidentally, I read Fish 2 weeks ago, and I felt, why couldn't I choose my attitude and wash my clothes as a game? So I started Friday pop music playlist on my phone and started watching simultaneously. It was so easy and entertaining. Like, come on, turn the radio on. It's a Friday night and I want Villa. So it was so I was enjoying it very much. And after washing the clothes, I felt energetic and satisfied. That's how simple it is to implement these atomic habits in our life. It's so simple. And the best fish philosophy I do believe is make someone's day. Right? People will forget about the Mary Jane. People will forget about the lessons. People will forget about the advices. You will forget about me, and I will forget about you. But you will never forget how I made you feel, and I will never forget about how you made me feel. And that's how we evolve. We become great when we work together, when we support each other. This is how we make our day by making someone's day. Are you getting? Last but not least, how can we use the lessons of this book in running a successful of any organization? So people say you have to have a passion for what you are doing, and that is totally true. And the reason is because it gets very hard that if you don't have any passion, any rational person could give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it for over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you are not having fun doing it, you're gonna give up. So we can also serious about our work without being too serious about ourselves, right? Concluding, every school is good, every office is good, every industry is good, but one who follows the four philosophies of fish has become the great. Thank you, and have a sweet night.
Thank you very much, Nikhil. Next, we move on to Ayanshi of 8F. Ayanshi?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A very
Yes,
warm good evening to the jury members, my fellow participants, and all the spectators present here. Stephen C. Lundin, Harry Paul, and John Christensen Fish. The lesson imparted in Fish Way Measure is terribly straightforward and provokingly empowering. The authors assert that workers within the geographical point have the facility to alter their own attitude regarding their work, making a positive atmosphere which will not solely be a lot of productive, however happier in their lives. Clearly, these don't seem to be novel. However, that offers, sorry ma'am for disturbance. Hello ma'am.
Yes, Anshi, please continue.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. There was a call. And ma'am, just a minute. A very warm good evening to the jury members, my fellow participants, and all the spectators present here. Stephen C. Lundin, a noteworthy thanks to boost morale and improve results, quickly became a revered text in trendy management design. Once its publication a decade agone, notably well known for its promotion of fun within geographical points to encourage workers, there is really loads a lot of within the book. Served than simply its fun orientation, notably in its Zen-like endorsement of choose your attitude and being present within the moment. The lesson imparted in Fish Way Measure is terribly straightforward and provokingly empowering. The authors assert that workers within a geographical point have the facility to alter their own attitudes regarding their work, making a positive atmosphere which will not solely be a lot of productive, however happier in their lives. The four components of the fish philosophy break down as follows. First, selective perspective. This is most likely the best and nevertheless most powerful of the concepts generated in the book, because the authors state there is often a selection regarding the manner you are doing your work. Notwithstanding, there is not a selection of the work itself. Staff selects the attitude they convey to work. They are either planning to be miserable or they are motivated. If they like to be motivated, it can construct their life into happiness and more productiveness. If you have got to be at work, why not be nice at it instead of being ordinary? Second, play. The story of Fish. Fish concerns the story of mid-level manager Mary Jane, at first currently financial, and her efforts to introduce a playfully productive atmosphere in the operations group, to which she has just been promoted. Prior to her arrival, has been known as a toxic energy dump. Staff in this backroom unit are bored, demotivated, and unhelpful to the internal clients that they serve. Mary Jane herself is a single mother with 2 children. Her husband died unexpected from a blood clot in the brain, and she is not financially secure, and she is worried about her future and that of her children. Her energies are depleted. Her confidence has been drained out of her. The unit has gone through several managers in the last 2 years and reports to a senior manager who is a well-known bully. As the book opens, she has there for 5 weeks and struggling to make sense of it and how she might turn it around. Clearly, Mary Jane has been given an assignment in health. Will our plucky heroine turn the group around? Will she survive and even triumph? This is a business book, so that one knows the answer in advance. It would be just as pointless to ask of a romance novel whether the heroine gets a man or in a detective novel. Whether our sleuth solves the case, of course, Mary Jane triumphs. But the question is how. The most persuasive part of the book concerns Mary Jane's visit to the Pike Place Fish Market, which is vividly described in colorful detail, including the happy-go-lucky shouting of the fishermen, the jockey interchanges with the customers, the energized and energizing environment, and the open attitude of the people who work there and who come there as customers. To summarize, Mary Jane learns from the fish market what it is like to work in a such an energizing environment, and yet though that she is able to introduce the same kind of environment into the backroom unit of First Guarantee Financial. There are, however, questions about how she goes about the transformation, as well as what the reform unit looks and feels like when the transformation is complete 1 year later. Third, create their day. This is the best core service thought of the fresh philosophy. Approach line service with the goal that you are going to create someone's day. Quit off the thanks to provide somebody an unforgettable expertise operating with you. And fourth, but not the least, be present. The fish philosophy additionally incorporates a part of Zen-like attention. The authors want to say that the workers who are involved in commission, they are totally zoned out. They are totally distracted from their work. They are always thinking that what they are going to do when their work is going to be finished. Hence, they can't focus on their customers. That's why we have told to always remember that work is our gift, which is not simple. The takeaways from the book are: this is an excellent book and one that each victorious land agent out to scan. The best recommendation I have ever detected regarding maintaining a positive approach to business is this: choose your perspective, that's it. Really, all these 160 pages from Fish Way measure value basic cognitive process as well as everything that Lundin has got to say regarding nice client service can change the perspective of the life, can change one's life productiveness, can make one's life more and more happier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ayanshi. Moving on to our next participant, we have Dikshita Singh of 9G. Dikshita?
Ma'am, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you're both audible and visible. You may start your presentation now.
A very warm good evening to one and all present here. This is one of the admirer of the marvelous book, Fish, by Stephen C. Lundin, PhD Harry Paul, and John Christensen, that sold more than 2 million copies in 35 languages worldwide. It comprises of 107 pages. Fish, a fabulous love story. Yes, you all heard me right. A love story. Love between we the people with our work. By doing that work which we love, we can catch a limit of happiness, meaning, and fulfillment every day. This book is about transforming our work into a passion. It will motivate people to take pride in whatever work they do. After reading this book, I realized that it really does not matter what work you are doing. The thing that matters the most is the way how you do your work. This book teaches me to love what we do, even if that moment we might not be doing exactly the same what we love. And believe me, if you start loving your work, then you will be the most happiest person. It teaches me to take up the courage to grow and become who I really am. This book taught me the true meaning of life and how to live it well. So this was my takeaway from the book that I would really like to carry with me for the rest of my life and would follow them. This book has a great significance in my life. So we all the people are doing work. We all are putting labor, right? Then why only few people become world famous or get success in a right sense? We the people are doing our work physically and mentally. But the one who gets success in a right sense or become world famous, they actually devote themselves to their work. They do their work with their hand, head, and heart. Here, hand refers to physically by putting labor. Head refers to mentally by intelligence, and heart refers to emotionally by loving that work. So let me take an example from this book. The world famous Pike Place Fish Market. When I heard world famous fish market, I was just amazed and surprised that how a fish market can become world famous. It might be also selling fish like other fish markets are. So what make it so special and unique? But when I continue reading it, I found it so interesting. The people who were working in the world famous fish market might not get the ideal job that they dreamt of, but whatever job they get, they just start loving that. They all are doing their work with full of energy, enthusiasm, and most important, in a playful manner, which attracts a number of customers towards them. By doing this, they are not making only their own day, but they are also making their customers' day. They all are just focused at their work. And here they follows the 4 principles, which latter known as fish philosophy, which are: first, choose your attitude. There is always a choice about the way you do your work, even if there is not a choice of the work itself. We must choose to create our each day. We can be artists too of our life. Second, play. Play does not mean to take work in an unserious way. Take work seriously and still have fun with the way how you conduct your work. Play means. By doing work in this manner, work will become reward, not just a way to reward. Third, make their day. We should look for as many as opportunities to create someone's day, which can bring big smile. Focusing our attention on making someone's day provides a constant flow of positive feelings. Fourth, and I feel that it's the most important principle among the all, be there. This advice might sound weird because when you are at work, you are there, right? But this advice is about mental presence. Focus on the work you are doing. Focus on the person you are helping. Just don't fly away with your thoughts in your mind from where you are now. After reading this book, I just tried to implement some of the principles and morals in my real life. And I came to see a drastic change, which was just unbelievable for me because I have never expected that a book can have such a great impact in one's life. So due to this pandemic, we all are just packed in the 4 walls of our house. I was so bored by doing all the things through online mode, doing online classes, competition, etc. It just becomes so monotonous for me. I feel like anybody has taken out the oxygen from the surrounding and it started becoming so suffocating for me. But after reading this book, I felt a force compelling me to move ahead comes from my inside that I need to renew my faith in myself. I should be confident. I should trust myself like Mary Jane has, who is the main character of the story. In a day, I asked several times to myself that, is my attitude approach me towards my goal? Stephen C. Lundin, through his book, taught me to live in present. Just forget the past and don't worry for future. Enjoy your present and be loyal to yourself. By following the 4 principles, one can run any organization successfully. Like in this story, the 3rd floor, which is titled as the toxic dump, has been converted into a playful and energetic environment by Mary Jane. Fish philosophy fulfills the most basic needs of an individual, which in turn fulfill the needs of an organization, which are more connected teams, better communication, higher retention, extraordinary services, etc. So let me take an example which we are very familiar to. School. Yes, in school too, teachers try to teach a student in a creative and in a playful manner, just to grab more and more attention of a student. They try to create great memories. And if a school is successful in making learning process fun, then they have already got the success which they are looking for. And life is too precious just to pass through retirement. So let's just start loving our work and make this world a better place to live as well as to work. At last, I only want to say that this book is totally worth reading for me. And I would like to recommend this book to the people of all age groups, as I feel that the morals and the principles that I came to learn from this story can be applicable to each and every stage of a person's life. So this was one fish story that does not exaggerate. It shows how changing your attitude lets you to enjoy your work as well as your life. Thank you and have a nice day to all.
Thank you very much, Dikshita. Moving on to our next participant, we have Ashmita Priyam of 11F. Ashmita?
Audible and visible?
Yes, Ashmita. You're audible and visible.
Greetings, everybody. Today we have gathered to review the book Fish, a remarkable way to boost morale and improve results, collectively written by Stephen C. Lundin, Harry Paul, and John Christensen. This book introduces us to a philosophy that will enrich our performance in all scenarios of life. To be specific, I am talking about the fish philosophy. The Pike Place Fish Market in Seattle has inspired the whole world to adopt 4 simple practices to their work and life. They are: choose your attitude, play, make someone stay, and be present. This book instilled in me the energy to begin a work, to step out of laziness and do what my obligations are to myself. After reading this book, I realized that we cannot change what is, but we can surely change what will be. This can be summed up into 3 words: choose your attitude. Mary Jane, a character from this book, taught me, never let one incident from the past hold you back in the future. Another lesson to be pointed out is to be dedicated to being present in the present. Story of a minor character is mentioned in this book, John, whose daughter asked him to go to the park. But there always seemed to be some urgent work and days passed. Days led to weeks and weeks to months. He speaks with regret that 4 years had passed and he never did go to the park, with his daughter being 15 and no longer interested in the park. The ultimate truth is that in the journey of winning the biggest things in our life, we leave behind the littlest. The 3rd practice mentioned is make someone stay. When I read about this practice, what came to my mind is Shri Krishna talking to Draupadi after her cheer-haran. He says, अपनी पीड़ा में संसार की पीड़ा को समझो सखी। जो व्यक्ति केवल अपनी पीड़ाओं को गले से लगाता है वह निर्बल बन जाता है, किंतु जो व्यक्ति सारे संसार की पीड़ाओं को गले से लगाता है वह बलवान होता है. For me, the moral takeaway from this practice is, more than ever before in human history, we share a common destiny. We can master it only if we face it together. There's something so accurate I read in this book. Every person who read this book must have framed an interpretation of their own. Because meaning is something you build in your life out of your experience of humankind, your beliefs, your hardships, your strengths, your weaknesses, and whatnot. As kids, we all imagined a life full of fire, desire, wonders, and adventures. And we still imagine and desire for such a life. Then, what has changed? It is our priorities. We put responsibilities before our pleasure. This book gives us an insight of what our life transforms into when we refuse to choose ourselves. That is where we blame our work life and its challenges. And that is where we need to remind ourselves of the fact that an easy life is 100 times more brutal ultimately than a life where we go all in and take an unconquerable stand for our brightest dreams. The first rule of truly loving your work is to value it. In his book, Indomitable Spirit, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam writes, everyone's life is a page in the human history, irrespective of the position he/she holds or the work he/she does. It simply means that your work might not be of great importance to you, but after all, it surely makes some part of the contribution in the evolution of this world. A question that instantly came to my mind after reading this book is, why do we need motivation? Being passive is not our default mode as human beings. We have the ability to engineer the world inside our bodies and minds. That is where all the potential we do not think of resides. I feel that motivation is a great source of power. It activates all the other energy sources within us. We can implement these lessons to run any organization just by following some simple rules. Setting a goal on a daily basis, respecting and rewarding the colleagues, reaching out to everyone for ideas, and most importantly, getting fully engaged in work. When you wake up next day, ask yourself, is this going to be a good day? And answer, yes, I choose to make this a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashmita. Next, we have with us Anushka Yadav of 11H. Anushka?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible and visible?
Anushka, you're audible. You're not visible to me.
Am I visible now?
Yes. Anushka, you're both audible and visible.
Okay, good evening, respected judges, teachers, principals, and my fellow competitors. I am Anushka Yadav of 11H, and today I will be presenting a book review of the book Fish, A Remarkable Way to Boost Morale and Improve Results by Stephen C. Lundin, Harry Paul, and John Christensen. So this book was originally published on 8 March 2000, and it consists a total of 107 pages. Other famous books of Stephen C. Lundin are Fish Sticks, Fish Tales, Fish for Life, and many more. So this book basically is about change management. It teaches its readers how to master change management, as the story in this book revolves around the main character, Mary Jane Ramirez, who is a fictional character. In the story, she and her team was enjoying an excellent reputation. Everybody respected her. She was doing great at her career, but then she gets the bad news that she has been made the in charge, or we can say manager, of a group of employees who are very less energetic. They worked with very low with very no energy and all, and they gave a very negative vibe. And then she herself was not ready to accept the job just because she was a single and she needed money to raise her children. She accepted that job. She was determined not to give up. She was determined to change the atmosphere of her workplace, and she wanted to know the motive of those employees, why they were working like that. And then she goes to a fish market, which was near her workplace only, where she encounters a fish market which was full of fishmongers who worked cheerfully with passion, enthusiasm, and all. And then she meets one of the fishmonger who worked there.
Anushka, I guess there is some network issue.
Hello.
Yes, Anushka, you may continue from where you have stopped. You may continue
Yes,
from where you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got disconnected. Sorry.
That's
worked with enthusiasm and passion and all. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Ma'am, I think there is some network issue.
So can you continue? We can give you another chance to continue another for another time. Like, can you continue? Please continue from where you have stopped. Don't start
Yes,
from the.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So there are so many books out there on this very topic, but I find this book different from them all because this book don't only teaches its reader to things like we should cope with the change. We should not always see the negative side of any change. We should try to find the advantages of a change. But this book also teaches its reader how to do it, and that is the most important thing. So my key takeaway from this book is it is that we should play while we are working. We should not we should be serious about our work, but we do not have to be serious about ourselves. We should not take the pressure of doing any work. We should enjoy the process of doing it. And the most important thing which I have learned from this book is that we should live in present. We should not think about future, as the book itself says that life is too precious just to be passing through to retirement. And this book has a lot of importance in my life, as in the last few months when we were all stuck inside those same four walls, it was kind of depressing for me, at least. Then this book really taught me that if I will choose my attitude at the very beginning of the day, that yes, today is going to be a very good day, a very cheerful one, so I can make it happen. This is the thing which really kept me going in that period of lockdown. Now, so we can surely implement these four ideas for having a successful running of any organization. First one is choose your attitude. If the employees of any organization will choose their choose their attitude, then they can start their day on a very positive note. If they will play, then they will not only enjoy their time while working, but they will also work very efficiently, which will automatically provide success to them. I mean, will automatically provide profit to them. And third one is that make their day. If they will make the day of their clients, their fellow colleagues day, then it will provide success to them. And the last one, be present, means if they will be present for themselves, will be present for their fellow colleagues, for everybody around them, then it will surely bring success to the hand of success in the hand of that particular organization. So I would like to conclude over here. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Anushka. That was pretty much on time. Next, we move on to our next participant, that is Aditi of 9C. Aditi?
Am I audible?
Yes, Aditi, you are both audible as well as visible.
A very warm good evening to one and all present here. I, Aditi of 9C, is here to present my views on the book Fish, a proven way to boost morale and improve results by Stephen C. Lundin. I'll be focusing on these some questions. Moving on to the very first question, what is your takeaway from this book? This book is a business technique that is aimed at creating happy individuals in workplace. The central four ideas of this book are choose your attitude, play, make their day, and the present moment. It also teaches us that we don't have to be so serious about our job and we should look for fun and amusement, but every time it doesn't interfere with our work. Fundamentally, this book is about bringing yourself to work. It presents the core belief that the only thing you can control is your attitude. And with positive attitude comes better results, better moral, and better engagement. Moving on to the second question, what significance does this book have in your life? This book teaches us how to control our attitude and be happy in workplaces. This book helped me to improve my teamwork, innovation, and attitude. It also helps you to create a culture where people try to bring their best to work. This book is about engaging people and creating an positive change in their workplace. As it is said, to change an organization, you have got to change yourself. Moving on to the third question. How can we implement these things we learn from this book in our life? We can implement these things by using these 4 key points. First, be there. Be emotionally there for people. It is a powerful message of respect that improves communication and strengthens relationships. And focus on the task you are doing. Don't fly away with your thoughts. Second, play. Tap into your natural way of being enthusiastic, creative, and having fun. Play is the natural spirit that drives the curious mind, as in let's play with that idea. You can bring this mindset to everything you do. Third, make their day. Find simple ways to serve or delight people in a meaningful, memorable way. It's about contributing to someone else's life, not because you want something from them, but because that's the person you want to be. Last, choose your attitude. Take responsibilities for how you respond to life, to what life throws at you. Your choices affects others. As long as you can't control the external events, you can still control your happiness. Moving on to the last question, how can we use the lesson of this book in successfully running an organization? This book is about the fundamentals of boosting your team's model. It helps you to convert an toxic energy dump into a workplace that adds value, productivity, and profit to the company, creating happier employers, workers, and customers. Book Fish offers the wisdom that is easy to grasp, instantly applicable, and profound, the hallmarks of a true business classic. It helps you to create an environment in which people are truly connected to their work, to their colleagues, and to their customers. Many ideas are brought up in this book about ways to improve morale. At last, I would like to say that yes, this book is for workplace, but I think it will help me to improve the quality with which I choose to live and see even the small things that happen in the day-to-day aspects of my life. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aditi. Next, we move on to our next participant, Harsh Gupta of 11D. Harsh?
Yes, ma'am. Am I visible?
Yes, Harsh, you're both audible as well as visible. You can start now.
Good evening to one and all present here, my dear teachers, principal sir, and my brothers and sisters. So today, I am present here to give a book review on a book titled Fish. My name is Harsh Gupta and I am from class 11D. So first of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about the authors of this book. There are three authors of this book. First one is Stephen C. Lundin, who is a writer, entrepreneur, filmmaker, and a graduate level business school professor. Second one is Harry Paul, who is the vice president of the Ken Blanchard Companies and is also a professional speaker. Third one is John Christensen, who is an award-winning filmmaker and also the CEO of the Charthouse Learning Corporations. So this book is based on a story of a lady named Mary Jane, who got to know how to solve the problem of the group of negative peoples on the third floor of their department by meeting a man named Looney in the world famous Pike Place Fish Market, a place which is smelly, sloppy, and wet. So the first question is, what is the takeaway from this book? So this book teaches me about how to enjoy and love your work. Enjoying my work makes it easy. And when we choose to love the work we do, we can catch the limit of our happiness, fulfillment every day. People spend about 75% of their adult wake time doing work-related activities. And if they are not enjoying that much time, most part of their life is simply getting wasted. So we may not be able to always do the work which we love, but we can choose our attitude toward any of the activity or work we do. This book also taught me that how an energetic team and teamwork can lead to miracles, and the enthusiasm among the team members can transform the work itself into a game. Coming to the second question, what significance does this book have in your life? So this book is of great significance in my life. As a student, this book teaches me how to love my studies and extra co-curricular activities. As a student, when we have to work as a team, for example, in quiz, debate, or science exhibition, we have to engage our team members and ignite enthusiasm among them in order to perform well. We have to risk the possibility of any kind of failure. There is no safe harbor, but to take no action is to fail for sure. Now coming to the third question, how we can implement the ideas of this book. So the implementation of the ideas of this book can be applied differently for different fields. As a student, this can teach us that how we can choose a positive attitude towards our studies and rest of the activities which we do. For the teachers, the implementation can be to create an engaging classroom by teaching in a playful way and conducting activities such as quizzes, dramas, debates, games, etc. And for the corporate leaders, the implementation can be used to create an energy-filled workplace. And this will prevent burnout among the employees and will help them to take pride in whatever they do. Now coming to the fourth question, how we can use the ideas or takeaways from this book in successful running of an organization. So this book teaches us that we can be serious about our business, and even then also we can have fun by the way we conduct our businesses. And this book describes about the 4 major ingredients for an energy-filled workplace. And the first one is choose our attitude. We have to choose our attitude. The employers and the staffs of the organization should choose their attitude at the beginning of the day. If they choose to be faithful and they have faith on their work, then half of their job is already done. And the rest 3 ingredients described in this book are of no use without this point. The first one is most important, is choose your attitude. The second one is play. Play is not a very complex idea. This is a concept which is familiar to every kid in this world. The elders just forgot its importance as they grew older and more serious. So this teaches us that we have to treat our work like a game. And we don't have to, like we see now, that we don't have to force any child to play, that you go and play. The child plays on its own, and even then they can play for long hours without getting exhausted. The same principle can be applied to the employees and the staffs of an organization. The third one is make their day. The customers are the most important part of any organization. The staffs of any organization should try to create as many memories as possible with the customers so that they can engage them, and also they have to try not to stay apart with the customers and respectfully engage them in the fun which they are having. The fourth one is be present. The employees of any staff, the employees and staffs of any organization should be always present at any point of time in front of the customers. They have to pay attention to their customers. Neither they have to be daydreaming or on the phone calls in front of the customers. So these are the teachings from this book which will help in transforming routine work into value-added work. At last, I would like to conclude by saying a line from this book, that life is too short to be passing just through retirement. And the reason we were born was to leave our own indelible remark on the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harsh. Before moving on to our next participant, I would like to remind you that I'll make a sound after 5 minutes, after which you still have 1 minute to sum up. So moving on to our next participant, we have Jia Mukhopadhyay of 9G.
Ma'am, am I visible and audible?
Yes, you are visible as well as audible. You can start now.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jia Mukhopadhyay of class 9G, and I feel extremely fortunate to present my views on this very thoughtful book, Fish by Stephen C. Lundin and H. Paul and J. Christensen. It's basically of 128 pages and is from Hooter and Stott production. And I guess it has sold more than 5 million copies in the revised version only. So first, I would like you to imagine. So imagine a workplace where everyone chooses to bring energy, passion, and a positive attitude to the job every single day. In this engrossing parable, a fictional manager, Mary Jane, has the responsibility of turning a chronically unenthusiastic and unhelpful department into an effective team. Hard, right? So I would like you to go a different part of the story now. Seattle's Pike Fish Place is a world-famous fish market that is widely successful thanks to its fun, bustling, joyful atmosphere and great customer service. By applying ingeniously simple lessons learned from the Pike Place, which was given by the loony the longer to our main character, she discovered how to energize and transform her toxic energy dump workplace into a productive and a happier place. Now, I would like to go to the key points of the fish philosophy. So the key points of the fish philosophy is, first, be present, be there. Second, make their day. 3, choose your attitude. 4, play. So, be present, be there. Be present means listening carefully without judgment or interpretation, paying attention to the people, co-worker, and make them feel important and make them feel involved. Okay, who doesn't like to feel special? Like, of course, I would be feeling rainbows and flowers if somebody would make me feel special. And who doesn't like a little serotonin boost in their body? So that's exactly what I would like. The suggestions are in the make their day. Make their day. This idea focuses on making the customer, whether internal or external, remember the experience with the employees. Including customers in the fun and games will create happy, satisfied customers. Complimenting looks. Do a little extra for one person every day. Be caring to one another. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Always be ready and available to help other workers. Now, choose your attitude. You can choose the way to do your work, even if there is not a choice about the work itself. Choosing the right attitude for the day should become a daily routine. It will provide you the energy and faith you need to guide you through the day. Every day you have opportunity to decide for yourself what attitude you will have at work, home, or at school. And next, I would like to go to the play. Have fun while you work. It's very important. If we are not having the fun right now, then I would basically sulk. So happy people treat others well. Fun leads to creativity. Having a good time is healthy. Work becomes a reward and not just a way to reward. Have a good time in a respectful manner. Now I would like to say the fish philosophy in workplace. Fish philosophy describes 4 elements of extraordinary customer service and helps to implement them in a workplace. It also teaches us that we don't have to be dead serious about our job, and we should look for fun and amusement every time it doesn't interfere with our work. The fish philosophy empowers employees to be more effective in any job. When a team leaves the philosophy, they improve their culture and create a better result. Organizations worldwide use the fish philosophy to improve the teamwork, customer service, employee engagement, retention, recognition, and leadership. Now, I would like to say the fish philosophy in daily life. The good thing about this philosophy is that it's not only about engaging people and creating positive change in their workplaces. It is also about our daily lives. Every time we have the deal with something we dislike, of course, who likes to do what we dislike? Like if my mom says to do jhadu in house, I would no, I don't want to. But in that place, if I do jhadu with some little Bollywood dances, how would it be? I would like that, of course. Now, the philosophy inspires to look for joy in daily events and can make you a happier person in the end. Now, it's time for the significance of fish philosophy in my life. This book has immense significance in my life, particularly during the period of lockdown, when we are stuck with our online classes. This book made me realize if I take my work in a playful manner and with positivity, I can be more productive in my work and be better. It also taught me to be always with the person who needs me the most at that time and to serve them with kindness. I would like to summarize the key takeaways. The lesson imparted in Fish are very simple and proactively empowering. The authors assert that employees in the workplace have the power to change their own attitude about their work, creating a positive environment that will not only be more productive, but happier in their lives, encouraging employees to think out of the box, giving them the chance to reach their maximum potential. At last, I would like to say that this book is an add-on to my knowledge and confers to the synergy, be proactive, and think win-win habits laid down by Stephen R. Covey in 7th Habit. It's worth reading. The book is worth reading, and I would like to recommend this book to every age group. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Jia. Next, we have with us Komal Bharti of 8G.
Ma'am, am I audible and visible?
Yes, Komal, you're both audible and visible. You can start now.
The only way to do great work is to love what you do. My heartfelt good evening to one and all present here. I am Komal Bharti, and today I am so blessed to have such a golden opportunity to review such a great book as Fish in front of you all. The authors of this book are Stephen C. Lundin, along with Harry Paul and John Christensen. Now a question arises that why? Why I found this book worth reading? Because this very book inspires me to stay ahead, to always keep going. Before reading this book, I thought that this book is as same as the normal books. What else it will do for me? How it will benefit me? But when I read it, when I studied it, I got a feeling of like, this is the book that will always inspire me and motivate me in every scope of my life. This is why I found this book worth reading. It compels me to look inside me, that how capable I am, that how energetic I am, that how creative and passionate I am. It compels me to love the work I do, even if at the moment I may not be doing exactly what I love. Now focusing on the very first question, that is, what is my takeaway from this book? So I learned a lot of values from this book. It teaches me that at any situation, never ever give up. It teaches me that this is our attitude that makes the work boring or interesting. It depends on us that how we choose to look the work like. It teaches me to always be happy, no matter how sad I am, no matter how depressed I am. Also, this book teaches me to be positive-minded and self-confident, and not a negative-minded person. Because positive mind is what that will always push you a level up to the journey of your success. And negative mind is what that will unnecessarily scares you and that will ultimately lead to a step down from the journey of your success. For example, if you are going to write an exam and there you feel so nervous and scared, then in that situation, this book will remind you that never to be nervous at any situation and always be positive. So be determined, be very, very positive, be optimistic and have a faith in yourself. Now proceeding to the next question, that is, what significance does this book have in my life? So this book has a great significance in my life because this is what makes me confident of myself. It never let my mind arise feelings like I cannot do this work or this is so boring work. But it inspires me to work in a creative, enjoyable and energetic manner with sincerity, dedication and determination. It always motivates me to move forward in my life. If I wander at any point in my life, it reminds me to be precise in the path. And if I lose any race of my life, it inspires me to overcome that situation and move on. For instance, if my teacher asked me to do a project and I found that project is so boring, then in that situation, this book will remind me that in this very work, there is no work that is boring or that is interesting. It completely depends on me that how I opt that work to be looks like. Now proceeding to the third question, that is how we can implement the things we learn from this book in our daily life. So we can implement the things by making it sure that we do not have a lot to do with selecting the work that needs to be done, but we can choose how to approach that work. Reacting and feeling like a victim is not going to solve the problem needs to be confronted. Mahatma Gandhi has rightly said that you do not have a challenge to make to change the comment or say about the people, but you can change how you react to it. Remember that things won't get better until we choose to make them better. You have the power to choose what you make things, and what you make things mean determines your attitude, and your attitude determines how you navigate through your life. Play while working will make the work interesting. Make their day, because being angry on someone hurts us more than it hurts the other person. Be present at the moment and try to pay full attention to what's actually going on. I believe that these are how we can implement the things we learn from this book in our daily life. Now, last but not the least, the fourth question is that how we can use the lesson of this book in a successful running of any organization. So first of all, we must be positive in any circumstances. The only difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude. So we should choose to make today a great day and always find some ways to play, because play while working will make the work interesting. We should be serious about work without being serious about ourselves. Be present, be fully conscious and stay focused when our customers or team members need us. We should be a very positive highlight of one's day, because helping someone, supporting someone will create a positive and happy surrounding around us. I believe that these are how we can use the lesson of this book in a successful running of any organization. I recommend this amazing book to everyone because this fish philosophy will completely change your life. It will boost your confidence and will help you to be positive in every circumstances of your life. Now, before ending my work, I would like to say that you love your each work and each day and live as if it is the last day in your life. If you love your work, if you really enjoy it, then believe me that you have already got success in your life. At last, I would like to thank all my listeners to pay attention, and thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you and have a delightful day.
Thank you very much, Komal. We move on to our next participant. We have Reenam of 9A. Reenam?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, Reenam, you're both audible as well as visible.
Okay. A very warm good evening, one and all present over here. Almost everyone is focusing on future and they wanted to become successful in their life. But there are few person who is focusing on this present and enjoying their life. Passion, creativity and energy is present in each and every one. But the thing is that we have to understand that. And that is what this book is all about. I have learned a lot of things from this book. This book teaches us to choose our own attitude towards our goal, and we are the only changer of our life and way of success as well. This book teaches us that we should not learn the thing theoretically, but we should adapt that things in our life. And in this generation, people are not adapting the things, right? They're just learning and just learning it. But we should always try to adapt some good things from others, no matter who they are, but we should always try to adapt some good things from others. And as we all know, the clock is moving, days are passing, and life is very short. It is very easy to spend a day, right? But it is very hard to utilize it. But we should always try to utilize our time to become more and more successful in our life. And if a person is utilizing their time and enjoying their present, literally that person is worth living in this entire world. Basically, this book focuses on the four main principles. The first and the most important principle is attitude. Attitude is just everything in our life. Positive attitude can lead to positive change in our life. If we want others to behave with us in a good manner, so we should also respect them back, right? And attitude is the thing through which the person can recognize that who you are. And we should always try to be positive towards everyone so that our surrounding will be positive and the people around us will be positive. The second main principle of this book is play. Play is very important for us. No matter whatever we are doing, either studying or doing any kind of job, we should always try to do it in a playful manner. And once the person will start doing it in a playful manner, literally no one will stop them to become successful in that work. The third main principle of this book is make others day. This is the most important thing in our life. Definitely, when we will help others, they will feel good, right? And they will also feel good and refreshing. And that is what humanity is. So we should understand that thing. And we should always remember that God has sent us to this world to make this world a better place to live and to make others happy. The fourth and the last main principle of this book is be present. In this 21st century, almost everyone is self-centered, right? They are busy in their own work, but we should always try to be attentive in each and everything so that the others can recognize us, and that will gain our confidence as well. So these are the four main principles that can definitely is a life-changing principle. And now the next question that I want to focus on, that how we can implement these things in our life. So we can implement these things in our life by realizing who we are and by remembering that God has sent us to this world to make this world a better place to live in. And if the person will understand that they are worth living, literally nothing will stop them to become more and more successful in their life. On the other hand, in running on an organization, the owner or the person should focus on the four main principles that I have already mentioned: attitude, be happy, and make others day, and be present. If the person will adapt these things, literally, they will become successful in their organization. And I can relate our school with Pike fish market, because everyone, our principals, teachers, and even the students are putting labors, and they are doing a lot for us, and they are helping us in many ways. So that, we should also try to make something good out of that. And at last, I want to say that don't be bothered about your future. Don't be afraid about your past. Just focus on this present, because this is the one which will make your future better. So through this, I rest my words. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Reena. We move on to our penultimate participant, that is Anushka Rathore of 12E.
Ma'am, am I audible and visible?
Anushka? Yes, you're both audible as well as visible. You can start now.
If you have the book in your hand, then I tell you it's a classic tale about transforming your work into your passion. Since its first printing in 2000, Fish has sold over 6 million copies in 35 languages, making it one of the best-selling business books of all time. I'm not surprised by the book's phenomenal success and its captivating story and its inspiring messages, which are more relevant than ever. Good evening, everyone. This is Anushka Rathore, and it is really a wonderful opportunity to be able to speak about such an incredible book, Fish, which is basically a love story. Yes, a love story. So, the book Fish is a remarkable way to boost morale and improve results, was published in 2000. And over last 2 decades, organizations and individuals on the globe have been drawing on fish philosophy to solve issues around leadership, culture, change in moral, and energy. Our best example of the fish philosophy was the world-famous Pike Place fish market, and we now have 10,000s of examples from over 100 countries. If you want to see fish in action, take a look at companies such as Google, Southwest Airlines, and Chepops. So, fish has had an amazing motivating influence on the culture of a broad spectrum of business for both large and small in both public and private sector, from healthcare to education, tech to hospitality. And I would recommend this book to everyone of every age group. So, Fish fan says, I don't have to go to work, I get to go to work. And the fish philosophy is a philosophy of life at work, life at home. It's all about life. And talking about the very first one, play, it says carry a lighter heart wherever you go. The other one, make their day. So a great gift is the gift of positive engagement. Sometimes you can make someone's day just by simply the way you engage with them. And the next is to be there. Amazing things happen when you learn how to be and where you actually are. And bringing consciousness and body and spirit into the space is a gift to yourself and to the world. And the last one is to choose your attitude. The attitude you have right now is the one you are choosing. And choose as if the quality of all life depends on it, moment to moment. So now coming to the questions. So my takeaway from this book is that now I will make sure that everyone feels special because they are, and will find a strength in each one. Would treat everyone like they are my favorite, and will compliment others, because it's nice to see a smile on someone's face when they have just received a compliment. And well, which brings each day with a positive attitude, because I know that my attitude impacts the people around me. Like each and every day, they may like affect or impact the people which are around me every day as I am. So I need to be positive and with work, with people, and to be with a good, to be good with my teammates, and will try helping people at least a little every day, and will be sure to keep a good sense of humor and will keep laughing, because doing what you like is freedom and liking what you do is happiness. And the significance this book have in my life is, it taught me I can choose the way I do my work, even if there is not a choice about the work itself. And choosing the right attitude for the day should become our daily routine. And this provides me energy and faith, which I need to guide myself through the day. Every day I have an opportunity to decide for myself about what attitude I will have at my workplace, home, or at my school. I have become a believer, like a person choose their attitude, and I know that because I chose mine. I chose my attitude. And when we choose to love the work we do, we can catch our limits of happiness. And it literally changed my attitude of procrastinating. So coming to the last question, that how can we use this book in successfully running of any organization? So Mary Jane was also a good person to work for, and she always closely listened to the concerns and ideas of her staff and was well liked and respected in return. And she says the culture of department is such a powerful and depressing force that the new people quickly lose their spark as well. And a lot of people still have that thank God it's Friday attitude. So I strongly believe that fish will motivate people to take pride in what they do. As the Pike Place fishmongers found a way to make work fun for themselves and their customers, which led to more sales. And in the very similar way, we can implement the same strategy for our workplaces. When we put our customers first, people feel good about us and love working with us. So stay focused in order to be present when our customers and our teammates needs us. And the last line which I would like to add in this is, don't multitask while you're working with people. You need to just focus on them. Also, it is easy to spend a day, but difficult to utilize it. And yeah, page number 11 of this book mentions that the danger is if our quest for ideal work focuses us on the future and we will miss the amazingly wonderful life that is available today in this moment. And this theory implies even now. Let me tell you how. While we are here delivering our speeches and sharing our views on the book Fish, there might be people who are guessing the winners of this very program instead of listening and learning and enjoying it. So here I rest my words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anushka. Moving on to our last participant, that's Gunja Jha of 11D. Gunja?
Ma'am, am I audible and visible?
Yes, Gunja. You're both audible as well as visible. You may start now.
So, the happiest people don't have everything best. They make the best of everything. With these, a warm good evening to one and all. This is Gunja and I'm here to review a beautiful book, Fish, which is written by mainly three authors, Stephen C. Lundin, Harry Paul and John Christensen. This story revolves around the main character, Mary Jane Ramirez, whose husband passed away and she was left alone with her two kids to take care of. At that point of time, she got promotion in the third floor of her company. The workers working in the third floor were lifeless and very less efficient. The author considered these bunch of workers as toxic energy dump, which is very true. One day at the time of lunch, she went to a fish market named Pike Fish Market. The environment of the Pike Fish Market was very beautiful. All the workers were enjoying their work and Mary Ramirez was very happy to see this. She was shocked and impressed, even though selling the fish is not such an applicable or beautiful job, but only the fishmongers were enjoying. They were playing with the fish, where she met a fishmonger named Lundin, who gave her 4 principles of work. I don't think these 4 principles are only for work. These are the main success mantras and my takeaway from this book. So let us move on and see what the 4 principles are. First is choose your attitude. There is a quote that the pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist try to change the wind, but the leaders adjust their sailors. Always be ready to face the problem. Always don't run away. Make the situation in your way. Don't run away from your problems. Next is play. Enjoy. Enjoy whatever you have. Enjoy whatever you are doing. At a point of time when our online classes started, we were also like a toxic energy dump. But with the help of our teachers, our principals, we started enjoying the online classes too. It makes our study so easy and efficient. We started enjoying in this hardship. We studied well and we gave the exams so good with the contribution of our teachers and our organization. Next is make their day. Your presence, your body language, the smile on your face should be in such a way that every person you met in a day should remember you. You should be memorable to them. Next is be present. As a student, we have a lot of classmates. We should be helpful to them. As a manager, we should be helpful to our co-workers, not only physically, but also emotionally. Be involved in all the works, in all the process of decision making. This book has a major significance in my life. My mother was shocked seeing me doing the household works. She was very happy that how I'm enjoying it. She used to tell me that, Kunja, do this, and I was feeling bored. But she was very happy to see me. I want to share a small incident. On Friday, while I was moving with my father, I had an accident and my right legs are seriously injured. But still, this book had changed my attitude, my energy in such a way that I'm now enjoying. I am in pain, but I'm though enjoying the book review and I'm very happy to do this. So the situations are not in your way. You have to make it in your way. And always remember that all the things which you do a day is very important. A single minute is like an hour. A day is like a month. And a month is like a year. Always remember it and spend it well. Always help others. And how we can implement these principles in our life. So, as a student, I learned many things. These four principles are the main success mantras of my life. When I started saying this principles in my life, I started enjoying my studies. And as an organization, if one can implement these four principles in their life, their organization will be successful. All the workers were happy, and the environment is such a way that we should be happy. And my school is in such a way. The teachers are always present. The teachers are enjoying while teaching. The students are enjoying while speaking, and my school is also a great inspiration for me. And with these words, I will consider this book to each and every employee, worker, student. The language is so simple, and you see that the little children can also understand that what is written in the book, and moral of the story is beautifully represented. So I recommend this book to you all, as this is the success mantra of your life. Thank you and have a glorious day.
Time, I would like to request Professor Vijay Kumar Singh sir, Registrar, Sarla Birla University, Ranchi, to please say something about this competition, inspire our students, and please motivate us all with your...
So, first of all, I am thankful to Honorable Principal Sir, Sri Ashok Sir. I thankful to our Honorable Registrar Sir, Vijay Sir, and Principal Ma'am, and all the team members, those who are involved in the program. So, thank you so much. And I have listened all the students, and everyone has done their best. And that is a good thing for the leadership of Sri Ashok Sir. And really, he is a dynamic principal. Those who are going to be nurturing the students in that way, they are putting their best in front of us. So I am going with what the students said, and then I will conclude myself on the particular topics. So I got 14 student list, and everyone has done well. I'm going to be started with Tanisha. Tanisha, she rightly said about the attitudes. Attitude is very important, and higher risk, higher the result. And this is the management principle. You know, if you are able to take risk, definitely you will get the maximum. And those who are not getting the risk, those who are not involving themselves in the risk, nothing he is going to be achieved in his life. So risk is very important. And she told about attitude and the passion. It's very important. There's a fundamental aspect of the managing the system. And if you are not going with the positive attitude, and if you are not enjoying your workplace, you cannot give 100%. So the productivity is directly proportional to your happiness. If you are happy with your work, you will give 100%. It's she rightly said. And she was highly energetic. She highly in the energetic way she has presented herself. So I am thankful to Tanisha Sinha. The second participant, Srishti Ranjan, she said about attitude, creating customers and listening to others. This is also a fundamental principles of the management. If you are not a good listener, you are not going to become a good speaker. So first you have to listen, and you must be careful about your employee. I will come on the topic. Okay. So it was really a nice presentation. Nikhil Kumar Sahu is very good. And he said about the passion. You must be passionate about your work and choose the perspective and give the productivity to your organization. It's very right, Nikhil Kumar Sahu. I am thankful to you. The number 4 was Ayansi. Ayansi said about attitude, passion, energy, and choose your perspectives. If you choose your perspective, it will give the productivity. She rightly said. She is very good. Diksha Singh. The 3 things she
just going to be collaborate, hand, head, and heart. Right, Diksha? I'm very much going to be support you, your hand, your head, and your heart. If you are going to be collaborate with you, definitely you will give 100%. Love with work. And one thing she said, that is transforming the work and the way do how you are doing and courage to grow. Really, it's a very fantastic thing. And renewing yourself, value creation, and always you have to go with the change. You see, now in the pandemic, what you have learned, you learn about the change. Pandemics gives you lesson how you are going to be change yourself and how you are going to be incorporate the changes in your personal and the professional life. Right, Diksha Singh, you are very right. Dikshita Singh, sorry. She said about all these things. I'm happy, hand, head, and heart. You have to combine, and definitely the productivity will come. And the next 6, Asmita Priyam. She said about attitude, and they said about the 4 principles. Choose your attitude, be present, make someone way. She said about if you are not present, that present means what? You have to do whatever you think and better place. You have to create and develop the relationship with the employee, and every time you must be present yourself to do the work, right? She said. So, number 7, Anushka Yadav. Really, Anushka, you have put lots of things in the presentations. Choose your attitudes. That means effectiveness. How the effectiveness will come? That's very simple. Effectiveness comes if you have the positive mindset. How the positive mindset will come? With the help of positive attitude. You have to energize yourself, ignite yourself, and go with the action. Go with the vision. If you have your vision is clear, definitely you will be focused and you will achieve whatever destination you have decided in your life. So attitudes work very, very effectively and smartly in your life. And second thing is that make their day means always you have to start with the new ideas, changes, value additions. And if you are putting it, definitely you will create a good customer. As far as the business is concerned, you are dealing with the customer. You are putting services and the goods in the market. So place value is also important. So how you are going to be create customer and care the customer, that is very important. I am also a teacher. I am the professor in the Vinoba Bhave University. I am always thinking about how I am going to be put different extra to my class students so that they can develop their leadership, teamwork, and all these things. Okay, so I am very happy with Anushka Yadav, and she said about the work with happiness. Aditi, business techniques and how the business techniques is useful with the help of positive attitude, improving teamwork, relationships, and you must be careful about internal and external customers. I'm very much happy with Aditi statement she said in the presentations. And the hers, right? Hers, you said about you have given all the answer of the questions, whatever put it in front of you. So the love your work, happiness, enthusiasm, teamwork, ignite, and positive action. That is very important, my dear. Positive attitude, continuous. And I'm putting one thing here. I'm just going to be add one thing. All the students listen very carefully. You make a magnetic field around you. If you make magnetic field around you, that will going to be ignite you. Suppose you want to become a Prime Minister of India, you think at this time I'm going to become, definitely once upon a time you become a Prime Minister of India. This is the fact. So the management techniques emphasize on that. You have to make magnetic field and positive magnetic field. That magnetic field will provide you proper positive ray in your mind, and you must be committed with your own self. So I am very much happy with the hers. And the 10th one was Jaya Mukhopadhyay. She rightly said about enjoy the work. अभी किसी ने कहा था कि झाड़ू लगाने में भी हमें गाना गाते हुए झाड़ू आप लगाते हैं तो रियली यू विल एंजॉय एंड आपको झाड़ू लगाने में मजा आएगा. When you in the vegetable market, enjoy the purchasing. When you are in the teaching, enjoy the teaching. When you are in the cultural program, you give 100% and enjoy. Dance करने का एक अपना आनंद है, उसमें आनंद लेना है. यही तो मैनेजमेंट कहता है. Management state about how you are managing the activity and the performance, whatever you are giving, are going to be given. That is the good management. And that will give the proper happiness, enjoyment, and you have to coordinate each and everything. तो आपको झाड़ू लगाने में भी मजा है, राइट? ये बहुत अच्छी बात आपने कही, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि भाई गाना गाते हुए भी झाड़ू लगाएंगे तो 100% हम देंगे, और जो 100% देता है डेफिनेटली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ती है. व्हाई द पब्लिक सेक्टर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज फेल्योर राइट नाउ? बिकॉज ऑफ द पीपल्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी गिव 100%. वो सोचते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट जॉब मिल गया और मुझे कोई काम नहीं करना है. अरे भाई, गवर्नमेंट जॉब तो गवर्नमेंट भी तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से. इफ दे आर यू आर नॉट पुटिंग 100% ओवर देयर, हाउ द गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल इन द प्रॉफिट? And if the organization is not in the profit, how the company will give you the salary? So you must be careful about your organization. So right, Jia Mukhopadhyay. 11, Komal Bharti. Be optimistic. Right, Komal. हमेशा optimistic बने रहना है. In the adverse conditions, you must be optimistic. Risk है. There is a risk, lots of risk in the life. Every time we are in the risk. And if you are not enjoying your risk with the optimistic approach, you cannot achieve it. So right, you are. The next, Reenam. So Reenam said about passion, creativity, positive attitude, right? And that will give the leadership skill among you. Who is the leader? Those who develop the leading quality among their team members. He is the leader. He is the right leader. जो दूसरे को बढ़ाता है. That type of attitude you have to develop, my dear students. अभी आप यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, कल को आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज में जाएंगे, कल को आप मिनिस्टर बनेंगे, कल को आप टॉप लेवल पे जाएंगे. Always keep in mind the team work is very important, and you have to motivate your team members. You must be careful about your team members because team आपको जीत दिलाएगी. क्यों? Because you must be careful for them. So that is very good. So I am thankful to Reenam. Anushka Rathod, she said about the transforming the world, right? इसलिए देखना आपने ट्रांसफॉर्मर लगा होता है. अगर ट्रांसफॉर्मर ना हो तो हमारे घर में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अच्छा से नहीं चलेगा. What the transformers are doing? They are transforming. आपको कितनी चाहिए उतनी रिक्वायरमेंट वो आपके घर तक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भेजता है. It's right words. Transform yourself, my dear. Always you try to transform. What is the requirement? Am I fit for that requirement? Am I the proper transform ourselves or not? You have to go with the analysis. Management students are always going with the analysis. What am I and what potentials I have and how I can give them to the society and the organization. If such type of courage you are going to be developed, you become a top people in the world. So that is very important thing. Anushka Rathod, I am thankful to you. Gunja Jha, she is rightly said about all the principles of the in the books. So it was the feedback I have given.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saroj Ranjan sir. That was a wonderful analysis of analyzing all the students and their performances. They have rightly understood where they are right and they should definitely improve on the better things. Now, I would like to humbly request Professor Vijay Kumar Singh sir Honorable Professor Vijay Kumar Singh, Sir, Registrar, Sarla Birla University, Ranchi, to please say something about the program and please motivate our students. Sir, please.
Thank you. A very good evening to everybody. I was hearing all the participants. First of all, I would like to appreciate and congratulate all the participants for their good ideas and impressive ideas. In my opinion, participants and listeners should learn from this book and improve themselves. Not taking more time, one thing out of all participants, some will get position and rest will lose, but losers should think about their deficiencies, and position holder will try to maintain their position in future. Being a judge of this event, I congratulate all the participants for their idea. At last, I am thankful to Principal Dr. Ashok Srivastava and also organizer to provide me this type of opportunity. Thank you very much. Last में मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, after saying Dr. Saroj Ranjan ji, I have nothing to say. लेकिन मैं डॉक्टर अशोक श्रीवास्तव जी को बहुत दिनों से जानता हूँ, और जो ये फिश पर जो अभी डिस्कशन हुआ और बच्चों ने बोला, किसी ने महाभारत की चर्चा की, किसी ने झाड़ू की चर्चा की, मैं सुन रहा था, बहुत पेशेंसली सुन रहा था, अच्छा भी लग रहा था। इसलिए मैं अपने को लगातार इसमें बैठ के मैं देखता रहा, सुनता भी रहा, और मेरे लिए भी बहुत सारी चीजें सुनने के लिए थी और अच्छा भी लगा। लेकिन मैं सोच रहा था कि ये सारी बातें अपने डॉक्टर अशोक श्रीवास्तव जी के अंदर है कि एक छोटा सा डीएवी आज पूरे झारखंड और बिहार के लिए एक आइडियल डीएवी है। मेरे बच्चे भी वहां से पास आउट है, और इनके डेडिकेशन, टीम वर्क और बाकी चीजों को देखने से लगता है कि इनसे रोज सीखने का विषय है। मैं रोज सीखता हूँ, इसीलिए मैं बच्चों से भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि बुक के साथ साथ जो ऑर्गेनाइजर हैं, आपके जो प्रिंसिपल हैं, सामने हैं आपके डॉक्टर अशोक जी, उनसे सीखने की जरूरत है। थैंक यू वेरी मच, हैव ए नाइस डे। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Your compliments, because you are knowing me since the struggle period.
Thank you so much.
And you are very cooperative in establishing this institution at Hazaribag. So I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to you also, sir, for your support. Always I needed support, and you from university member, you always cooperated. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Your presence was really required here. And moving on to our last esteemed judge, who is none other than our very beloved Mrs. Kiran Yadav, ma'am, Principal DAV Public School, WBC Tisco, Ghatutan. Ma'am, I humbly request you to please share your views regarding the competition, and please give suggestions for improvement, and please boost the morale of our students. Ma'am, please.
Became a learner. So once you read something, you become a learner. And once you learn something, the learning mode gives you the ways to find out how the leader like Ashok Kumar sir is working in your school. So I must first thank sir to give me an opportunity to share the platform with such kind of teachers who are creating class topper from this area, Siddharth, and NTSC 3-4 selections. Children, you are lucky to get such institution. And already in the environment, the ethos have that kind of leadership quality. Now, coming to these 4 points, those you spoke about, the practices. The practices, what is given in the FIS philosophy. Every philosophy can be implemented in any part of your life. And that implementation of philosophy, that is actually that matters most. choosing your attitude. I love this because I remember earlier also you people had one that Stephen Spencer's book, Who Moved My Cheese, and always ready to be ready for the change. That is the attitude of a person who wants to learn something. So attitude makes one do something very, very positive. Dr. Saroj Ranjan sir has said that there should be a magnetic field. I do believe. An aura of a personality. The moment you speak, you go somewhere, there is a positive effect. And that positive effect comes with your attitude. And you know, the foundation of success, that's not because of your chosen fate. That is because of your chosen attitude. Can we choose our attitude? The question is yes. That is the greatest research done by Harvard University. That attitude is a thing that you can choose, you can change, and you can implement according to your own desires in your own field. You have heard the story of that classic story, biblical, that David and Goliath. Goliath was a giant, and all the people were scared of him. So one day a shepherd came and said, "Why do you fear him? Why don't you shoot him?" And they said, "He is too big to shoot." And David said, "He is too big to not to miss." Means this is actually the approach. This is the approach that you get. He said he is not too big to hit. He is too big to miss. And this is actually the approach of a person who can add something new to the the life where you want to succeed. Now the leaders here, all the teachers, all the principals, those who are in the group, and the future leaders, the students who are speaking so well, the proficiency in the way they are speaking, and the way they are speaking with the content, the relevance. More than that, they had gone through the book that was spoken in the words. I'm really happy to see that the team is being created here in DAV Hazaribagh. So many things are there. How a transformer, again, Mary, a devoid of energy, the place. The people there were not demotivated, they were unmotivated. They were always thinking that the grass was greener the other side. Generally, we all human beings feel, वो तो बड़ा अच्छा है, वो तो बड़ा lucky है, वो तो बहुत अच्छा कुछ कर रहा है. But it's not that the person sitting at the other side is getting all the benefits. It's up to you how you change. So be a transformer. That element of transforming the things can be had with your attitude. And again, choosing your attitude, play. How you can add fun to your life, to your work. The story also says about Loni, who spoke about his grandmother. He said the grandmother was adding fun in every kind of work. So she was in the kitchen and the children loved to go to the kitchen. They were going to the kitchen and they were helping grandma in dishwashing. And later he said they realized that grandma did not she did not like dishwashing. But what she added to it? She added fun and the spirit of grandma that is said to be very infectious. And that came to the children. And the children helped, all the kids helped grandma. So this should be the kind of, the fun adding into it. I remember I have started in my school, every 3 months, there is a day for the teachers. That is the day for whole day fun, means games. And we prefer to play pitto, gobadanda, and all those games which can link us with our childhood memories. And I find sometime, I can just mention here, a lady teacher who is going to retire after 2 years, she was the first in the hotspot activity. So this is a regular feature in my school. Every 3 months we do it. And I find that even old people get such kind of fun and enjoyment. So this is actually the magic. If the work campus, the working style is added with play, joy comes. And when joy is there, NEP also says, National Education Policy 2020, that make the work enjoyable, make the work engaging. Of course, if this play game is there, if you are gamifying your system, if you are gamifying your rules and regulations, everyone starts enjoying it. The day I got this assignment from Ashok sir, I was just going through 2-3 pages and I liked it at the very next morning, just in front of my office. Choose your attitude with thumbs up and thumbs down. Now it's up to you whether you want the arc downward or you want the arc upward, smile or sadness. So it's just in front of my office where the teachers are making their attendance. So application, it's up to you completely. And be there. I remember Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He said what a leader should do. He was referring Satish Dhawan. He said when in the year 1979, it was the time of launch of SLV3, sorry. And that time it was a failure actually. He said when it was a failure, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was very sad. Dr. Satish Dhawan came. He said, come on, let's come and address the press. And Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a bit sad. So he was not ready to face the press. But when he went there, he saw Dr. Satish Dhawan took the complete responsibility himself, a leader. And the very next year, when it was a success, he said, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, come and go face the press. So when success is there, someone, the team, co-workers are there to take, leader is there to give the complete idea and the complete responsibility and the complete credit to the co-workers. Be there, play, choose your attitude. And of course, when we speak about playing, things become very, very lovely. Instead of taking much more time, I thought of, yes, it is 3 minutes. So should I wind it up again saying that I enjoyed this evening and thankful to all the teachers. I'm thankful to this pandemic also, because we are getting such a learning platform and we had never thought of learning at this time of the day, but we are doing it. This is because of such kind of school, and all the best to the speakers. All 14 were extraordinarily well. Thank you very much. Congrats. Best of luck.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. It's like I'm listening to a story. Thank you very much, ma'am, for gracing the occasion. Next, I would, before handing vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ananya, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible as well as visible.
Okay. Now, at the end of this fabulous show, I have got the very fortunate to get the opportunity to the vote of thanks. So first, I'll express my thanks to Honorable Mrs. Rajinder Narula, ex-OSD DAV CMC, who has joined as a chief guest straight away from Washington, D.C., who has always been cooperative and supportive. Whenever we have required her presence, she was always there. And then let me give my heartiest thanks to all the 3 dynamic judges, Honorable Professor Vijay Kumar Singh, Registrar Sarla Birla University, Ranchi, Honorable Sri Saroj Ranjan Sir, Associate Professor, Department of Management, Vinoba Bhave University, and Honorable Mrs. Kiran Yadav, Principal DAV Ghatutan. I hope your feedback, your valuable feedback will surely help our students to improve in the activities to come. Soon we are going to organize many more activities. And then let me thank the man behind the show who has inspired us in the organization of such activities, our Honorable Principal Sir. And then let me thank all the students, participants who have participated very energetically. And let me congratulate the winners and let me give the best of luck to all the participants who could not win, but it's always the next time when you can win and you can be the winners. And then let me thank the in charge of Reading Club and Debate Club, Mrs. Ananya Mukhopadhyay and Mrs. Tanisha Srivastava for superb coordination of the show. And then Bharat sir also needs applaud sincere thanks, because it is he who has always been supporting us technically. And then let me thanks all of you who have been directly or indirectly associated with this event. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, sir. And all the honorable judges, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Recording stop.